Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm for Classic and welcome to BenchART. For today what I do have in it is The Spirit of the Samurai. A game that was just released. It's an indie title, a very cheap one, which might mean some problems. But I'm not here to discuss about that. I'm here to discuss about how is the performance on the GTX 1650 Super. Just to remind you, this key copy was provided by the Quali, which is the publishers behind the game, and the developers are the Digital Mind Games. This is their first project, and it has a kind of a particular thing, which is all the animations are stop motion animations, so the trees moving, the characters, it's just stop motion animation. So not all the people will enjoy it, obviously, but it's not very severe. All right, the art style is actually great in this game, the sound, everything. But it seems that the combat it's a little bit clunky. I'm not going to explore the combat. I mean, just yet. I will leave that for the live stream where I will explore a little bit further of the game. I just want to focus on the performance. And so one of the things that you should know about the game is that the only thing you can change in this game is just resolution, VSync or on off, or an FPS limiter. And the FPS limiter, you just have options like 30, 60 or 120. So yeah, if you have a 144 Hz screen, the maximum you can go in frame rate is 120. So yeah, that's weird. But I mean, this is not a demanding game by any means. It is using Unity engine, and it doesn't want to be a demanding game by any means. I mean, 1080p. I'm playing at 120 frames per second in here, and pretty much the GPU usage is around 30 to 40%. It might up to 50 or 60 in some points, but I mean, it's 120 frames per second. It's a very, very lightweight game. The only thing that I didn't really enjoy to see is that the game is allocating 4 gigabytes of VRAM and it's consuming 9.5 gigs of RAM. So despite the dedicated usage is not big, it seems the game it is allocating a lot of VRAM. We have seen these lately in another game. That it was a Star Diver and it was causing massive performance issues. Fortunately for us, the Spirit of the Samurai doesn't suffer those issues, but it seems that VRAM is really getting a lot of optimization. Still, I have no performance issues due to that. Alright, so that's good news at least um, in that sense. So as you can see, 1080p it is great. So I decided to move on to 1440p just to have an idea how it plays. Alright, so 1440p in here, as you can see, no VSync, capped to 120. I can't really put more than 120 like I said, and still 120 frames per second. Of course, GPU usage it is higher than at 1080p because we just upped the resolution, but still performance is the same. I just have like cap at 120 and the GPU just goes very well with it, at least on this scenario. I'm not really sure about the rest of the game. This is just a quick test, keep that in mind. It's just to have an idea of what can you expect. But I'm actually not surprised. I mean, this game recommends an HG 7850, so it's my previous card from pretty much 5 years ago, and it was a mainstream card that already has like 7 years or 8 years. I don't know. I had that GPU for a lot of time. So like I said, this is not really a demanding game by any means, and it uses a lot of pre-rendered cutscenes for a lot of what was supposed to be demanding moments. So your GPU is not even taking any effort since those are just video playbacks. So yeah, 1440p, 120 frames per second on this area. One thing to notice is that the RAM usage did go a little bit higher than 1080p, so it is now at the 10 gigabytes of RAM. So like I said, this game it is allocating a lot of memory. So now the best curiosity of it all, 4K, what about it? Alright, so last test and this is just a pretty maximum, and this is a very interesting thing, 4K-ish, because it seems like they have messed up a little bit the resolution. This is 3480 per 260. I think it was supposed to be 380, I mean 3840 than what is being used in here. So I think they really changed the numbers by accident. They trade up the numbers by accident. This is not 4K. As you can see, I have black bars on the sides, and it was not supposed to. So they messed up. And this is a very amateur error in here. How the hell they haven't noticed this? Alright, but let's forget about it. Let's just proceed. So 4K-ish, let's call it this way. I'm having like a very high GPU usage, and whoa boy, it starts to drop in here. So GPU usage at 100%, but still I'm having about 80 frames per second, 90 frames per second, 100 frames per second, and I'm back again to 120. So yeah, 4K-ish does drop below 120 frames per second, but still, if you play with 60 frames per second locked, you won't feel a thing. At least on these early scenarios. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really sure about the rest of the game, but still it's very playable. And if you have like a G-Sync screen or kind of a FreeSync compatible with this Nvidia card, you won't be feeling anything at all. So performance is very good, even at 4K-ish. Again, RAM usage did increase to 11 gigabytes, so yeah, again it seems that there is an issue with the memory usage for some reason, and this seems to point out that it's lately in many Unity games, so I'm not really sure what the hell is happening in that sense. But again, I don't think performance was affected by that. Holy shit, 50 frames per second. Alright, so that was kind of a small stutter, so yeah, we might be having some memory issues in here because of that. But still, 4K seems fine aside from those weird loadings. But I know that the majority of the people that have this card will play at 1080p, and at 1080p it's fine. The GPU will just sweep throughout the game. And well, I think that's about it. So I will cover a little bit more of the game on the live stream as soon as possible. I'm not sure when I will have time, but I will cover like 1 hour of gameplay just to try to understand a little bit about the game and what it is all about. All I know is it's very cheap, the art style is great, the sound is great, although I don't really sure about how combat will works with stop motion animations. It will probably be very weird. But we'll see about that later. So guys, I think that's all. Thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.